Welcome to SPFL Extra, this week from the Ramsden's Cup Final. Coming up on this week's Extra, jaw-dropping debut goals. Prepare to cringe as we take a look at some of the funniest own goals. And Aaron Doran scores a stunner to silence the Staggies. This week's topic is inspired by Chelsea's two centre-halves, John Terry and David Luiz, who both, unfortunately for them, scored own goals. Terry against Crystal Palace in the league on Saturday, and David Luiz against PSG in the Champions League on Wednesday. It got us thinking, what are the funniest own goals that you have seen in Scottish football? This season we've been quite fortunate, or unfortunate, depending on your outlook. Ryan McGivern scored last week for St Johnstone. Darren McGregor in the Inverness Cally Thistle game against St Mirren. Steve McManus on his return to Celtic Park scored an own goal in the game against Motherwell, which wasn't ideal for him either. And in the lower leagues, in League 2, Berwick Rangers' Sean Hoskinson scored a bit of a awkward own goal. Basically, from his halfway line, he kicks the ball back to his goalie and he basically fires in the bottom corner. Don't worry lad, we've all scored goals like that. I scored one for Fort William under-14s, an own goal against Forest, which wasn't ideal. We've got some classics in the archives as well. Regi Blinker, his header, which leaves Jonathan Gould with no chance in the game between Celtic and Aberdeen from 1988. Paolo Vanoli tries to pass it back to the goalie in the Rangers versus Dunfermline game from 2003-4ish. Other goals include Lee Wilkie's. His goal in the game between Dundee and St Johnstone is probably one he'll want to forget as well. Let us know what your favourite own goal is in Scottish football by commenting below. We'll use the best chat for next week's show as always, and the winner will win a copy of Football Manager. Now last week we asked you what were the best first goals that you've seen in Scottish football from a player, and a lot of you went for Mark de Vries, who scored 4 in his first ever Edinburgh derby against Hibs. So many of you, in fact, I've actually had to write them down so you can all get a shout out. So here we go. HMFC 2397, doubt that's your real name. Robert Mitchell, Fraser Clark, Sean Smith, Jim Bob, good name, Cameron Black, Michael Wright, Scotland Jack and Jamie Boyd all went for that particular game.
Is it due? It certainly is. A dream debut for Mark de Vries. His first goal for Hearts. His first start for Hearts.
For others, it was Jamie Ness's debut goal against Celtic in the Old Firm in the Scottish Cup a couple of years ago. The names I can't remember, so I'm going to have to use this again. Lewis McDonald, Jojo, Mr Deco, that's how it says here, and Lewis 25,599. For Celtic fans, the debut of Tony Watt is the stuff of legend. Watt's currently in Belgium right now on loan at Lairs, but in his first game for the Hoops against Motherwell, he scored twice.
Drilled across by Wanyama. Tony Watt, just on, has made a name for himself. Unselfishly to Tony Watt again. Oh wow! He's only.
Thanks to Callum Colvin, Paul B, Blair McNulty and John O'Donnelly getting in touch with that one. Now one of the stars of this season's Premiership has been Dundee United's Nadir Shifty. And for a lot of Arabs, he showed how good he could be on his debut in a pre-season friendly against Wigan. Thanks to Joe DUFC, Aidan Connor, Craig Richardson and Dylan McCaig for getting in touch with this stunning goal right here. Other notable standouts in last week's comments include Danny Harper, who talked about Pedro Mendes' great goal for Rangers in the Old Firm in 2008. And also Not Famous Kid, talking about Alan Norman's great goal at Ibrox for the Highbees against Rangers. This week's comment of the week goes to Kyle Quincy. For him, Craig Muir's first goal for Motherwell against Hearts this season is the best debut goal that he has seen. Basically, he comes on and his first touch is to rail it past Jamie McDonald. He wasn't the only guy to think this. The Mighty Well, the Mighty Ghost, Prox by Genesis and James Haxton all agreed, but for us, Kyle's comment wins. Well done, bud. We'll get in touch with your copy of Football Manager and we'll get it to you in the post. Now it's time for my favourite goals from the weekend's action in the Premiership. At 4 is Georges Samras' strike for Celtic against Dundee United at Tannadice. He basically gets on the end of a Chris Commons cross, that's quite tough to say, and toe pokes it past Krasniak. Bizarrely, that's Samras' first league goal since October. Number 3 comes from the same game, Anthony Stokes' goal for Celtic, again against Dundee United. For me, it's not just about the finish, although it is brilliant by Stokes, but it's the 1-2 with Commons, just absolutely cutting through the United defence like a warm knife through butter. At number 2 is Billy King's goal for Hearts away at Partick Thistle. The strike is an absolute thunderbolt, but leaving Paul Gallagher with absolutely no chance. My favourite goal from the weekend comes from Friday night's derby between Ross County and Inverness Cally Thistle. Richie Doran, Aaron Doran, Richie Foran. Aaron Doran basically gets the ball at the edge of the box, cuts inside and then curls it into the top corner. It's absolutely class. These are my favourite goals from the week, but let me know what yours are by commenting below here. That's all for this week's SPFL Extra, but remember to comment below to stay involved in the chat and to never miss a goal again, subscribe for free here. Until next time, take care.